near the 32-yard line for a first down, and Mayfield wrapped up.
It's a nickel blitz. You're going to have a player coming off the edge from the right side. Gets in there. Baker Mayfield is still fighting. There's no whistle blown, so they clean him up.
It was Billy Bowman Jr., the rookie fourth-round pick out of Oklahoma. Use replay assist, and Raheem Morris threw the challenge flag. Third down and 8. Catch made by Rachaad White, and then he is tripped up about 5 yards shy of the marker.
Coach Baker Mayfield, you're bound to get a head coaching opportunity.
Mayfield on second down, and that is nearly picked off. Who's been in the middle of a lot of plays today in his first NFL game.
He's having a really good game. First poor read I've seen from Baker Mayfield. Xavier Watts read that beautifully. He jumped it so well that he actually had to turn back for the football. Baker Mayfield got away with it.
McCarthy out of the gun, going to throw against pressure here on 3rd and 2, and he's going to be brought down as the Falcons get to him, bringing the extra man. And it'll be a 3-and-out. James Pearce Jr., one of the 2 first-round picks that they got to rush the passer, gets there for his first full sack. From the 7-yard line, JJ, pressure on from behind. No, it's not advocating. Beg your pardon. Jalon Walker around the edge, the rookie out of Georgia with the sack in this first half.
And the problem remains the same here. Until Christian Darrisaw comes back, Justin School is going to have to get help. And they understood that they had to help him more in this game than they did last time. They rolled the dice on that one and paid the price.
That is the Butkus Award winner.
Don't take those hits.
Play action here, protected for the moment. And that throw is intercepted if inbounds by Billy Bowman Jr. He landed on the body, comes down inbounds, and Bowman comes up with the interception. Career picks.
Going on the field is an interception. First down, Atlanta.
I think that's right. In any way you want to look at it, that looks right to me. And the one thing that when you talk to Jeff Ulbrich, he was so excited about Billy Bowman. He said, you know what, I might put him on Jefferson because he is so sticky. When he gets connected to a receiver, he is just on him. He's not the fastest, he's not the quickest, he's not any of that. But when he gets connected to a receiver,
but still alive with 2:44 to go.
No pressure, he should have time.
Flag is down. McCarthy taking a shot downfield. It's going to be intercepted. Mentioned the flag was down. McCarthy thought he had a free play. Xavier Watts was back there for the pick. And here's what happened.
Little corner route here. Man underneath. There was a little tug of the jersey, and I think that's exactly what Jefferson was trying to get done. But that thing was launched over the top and just did not have a chance. And boy, out of nowhere, you saw Bates come flying.
Rodriguez is in there. Rodriguez gets the call. He gets hit from behind. He's not going to get it. Floyd among those there defensively. Flag down. Deep shot. Mariota over the shoulder. Interception. Xavier Watts. Falcon.
Thank you for the context.
Xavier Watts with the INT. Yeah, you're him.
Play clock at 3. They snap it, looking to throw for it. Scramble for it. Underhand flip is incomplete. He tried to get it to Johnson. He does that effectively, but as a little far away from the quarterback. Bro, explain that, Dan.
Yeah, I think, first of all, Terrell pressures off, and then they drop backside. So making sure Josh Allen does not get out to his right. And then he just underhand flips it. I think if Josh just runs to his left and overhands it and very normal to Johnson, that's going to be an easy completion. But maybe the...
And a fumble on the end around. It doesn't work, and Elijah Moore dropped behind the line of scrimmage. So a fast motion. Allen tried to hand it off. It wasn't clean. And Buffalo again shoots himself in the foot at the end of a drive.
That was just too far to go for a tush push. And I just, I mean, you can just see Elijah Moore, his left hand, he doesn't get it up high enough, and the ball maybe.
Toss. McCaffrey. Good penetration that time. It's going to be a loss of 4. 49er who's seen that in practice during his year with San Francisco.
Until somebody can make a tackle and stop it.
So it's 3rd and a yard to go inside. Juszczyk and stop the first time. And the rest of the Falcons come to clean it up. Xavier Watts in charge after the push inside didn't give Juszczyk the opportunity to.
And Achane again. This time he's wrapped up. Nice hit. Brandon Dorless. It's 1st and 10, red zone possession at the 19 of Atlanta. And here comes Achane. And he looks for a block on the play. Brunskill, the 6th offensive lineman, trying to lead the way.
We're supposed to start. May, pressure coming, he lost the football. It's free, scooped up by Pearce on the return, and Campbell trips him up. What a play by Will Campbell, but the Falcons get it with 23 seconds to go.
Walker, he's coming around right here on the outside, and he's going to come inside on a stunt. Gets there. Drake May doesn't have 2 hands on the football. Walker's able to poke it out. And that, you said, Charles, the dynamic duo of those 2 guys being able to come up with a play with just a 4-man rush, and they're running a game. And what I love is that Pearce picked the ball up, seeing that there was space.
Henderson, and getting a hand on it was Jalon Walker. What a play by the rookie out of Georgia, and it's 4th down.
Boy, he's had his bumps along the way, Jason, but he has responded in a big way, hasn't he?
I've been so impressed by Jalon Walker today. And yes, there was moments in coverage today where he wasn't able to corral Pop Douglas on a touchdown pass. Gardner Hunter.
Jones having to move to his left. That ball is out. A flag is thrown as well as he jumped back on top of it. Jalon Walker, the excellent rookie, brought pressure.
See him from the top of your screen, but they are so excited about their rookie class. Jalon Walker creating the pressure and the fumble right there. James Pearce, Xavier Watts, Billy Bowman. I mean, they got a great young nucleus of players on the defensive side.
Bates showing pressure. Here he comes. Now drops back. Jones under pressure. That ball is out. Big time hit again. Indianapolis over a couple of times. They have Pearce and Walker, the rookies, hook up. Just like you thought, a little RPO, they run it, and Taylor gets very close to the sticks. And again, a 54-yard field goal from here. They'll try to make it a little easier. It's Pittman inside the 30-yard line. The Colts do not have a timeout, but they don't have to rush here.
Down to the tailback, play action that way. And Young is wrangled and dropped. He's sacked all the way back at the 13-yard line by the rookie out of Tennessee, James Pearce Jr. He and Walker have been menacing together recently.
They were just what the doctor ordered when the draft came around. They needed some pass rush help. See the long arms, continues to keep working at it. Rips around Aquanu, who...
Bryce Young, a long opportunity to survey it. Pressure coming anyway. It's Bowman. Everybody knew it was going to happen, and he still spikes down Young.
Well, he shows it early. Young sees it, and he checks. Although there was clearly a miscommunication up front because he's still a free runner to hit Young.
Biggest improvement in pass yards allowed in the NFL. Drop it off for Sanders, a tight end with a hurdle. That gets submarined by Bowman, who's had a whale of a first half for Atlanta. He's got Terrell over top of him. Young, end zone, incomplete. He wanted McMillan. Instead, it's 4th down.
Had an opportunity, just couldn't quite get it up. Xavier Watts, the rookie out of Notre Dame, too, barreling down. He's been such a good player. He gets a hand on it. Yeah. For the Falcons, Raheem Morris said, you know, if you put on him and Jesse Bates.
Give it to Dowdle again. He'll go straight ahead.
Last 3+ games. They had just 16 in their first 7 games. Pressure on Shuck. They set up the screen on 3rd and long. And Kamara is going to get brought down by Xavier Watts, the rookie safety. They spread it out for Shuck. Trying to maneuver in the pocket as it collapses. And James Pearce, the rookie out of Tennessee, has been playing great football for this defense lately. He's part of the sack attack for Atlanta.
Yeah, you know this about empty. You got to get that ball out because you're really putting your offensive lineman on an island.
20 now in the last 4 games for Atlanta. 3rd and long. Shuck steps up. Throws and incomplete. Boy, Xavier Watts had a better shot at it, and Chris Olave had to become a defender there. Jeff Ulbricht's defense comes up with another stand.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like Tyler Shuck is seeing it.
They've converted 3 times on 3rd down. Shuck, there's some of the pocket movement, but he's going to get chased down by Jalon Walker, the other rookie opposite of Pearce, who's had a really productive stretch as the starter for Atlanta on the edge.
Yeah, he has been such an exciting player for them. Somebody that Raheem Morris was just glowing about when.
They're down in 3. Pressure coming. Pearce again. Brings down Shuck near the 30-yard line. The rookie has been relentless. Second of the day for the number 26 pick out of Tennessee.
Yeah, both these guys. Jalon Walker on one side, James Pearce Jr. on the other side. How about Falcons sack production here over the last 4 games? It's been pretty phenomenal.
Like 5+ in every game. Olave's the target. It is going to be Watts instead with his first interception since September. And the rookie has his 3rd in the NFL. That one will seal the deal.
But the pressure they were able to apply on Shuck really all day long. And then just the way that they stayed on top of everything. You know, there was never really any big play opportunities for the Saints down the field. You know, they had a couple short completions. You know, they ran the ball effectively coming out in the second half, different than what their plan was in the first half.
At quarterback for the New York Jets. Here's Breece Hall, spins right into the arms of Divine Diablo.
Catching balls on the jugs. He's trying to get out there, do walkthroughs. Can't be happier with these young guys wanting to get better.
3rd down and 7. Mechie unable to hang on to that one.
Man, that is such a nice play. Xavier Watts. We haven't called his name much today, but he has been a phenomenal rookie for the Atlanta Falcons. Bam, that is a catch. That's a catch, and then Xavier Watts comes in. Look at that right arm. Bam, punch that ball.
Lazard gains 10. Now the Jets continue this drive with a new set of downs. Taylor going deep, and it's too far for Mitchell. Get the ball back, start from their 14-yard line. Taylor in trouble. Down he goes. Back at the 5.
James Pearce, their 1st-round pick. He's been on a tear the past 3 or 4 weeks. He's going against their rookie. Does a spin move on Armand Membu. Beats him like a drum. Gets the sack.
But it bounced back. Very promising as they head down the final stretch of this season.
3rd down and 12. Darnold under pressure. Darnold is sacked at the 1. James Pearce, 5th straight game with a sack for the rookie from Tennessee.
And this is one of the big things. These young guys coming off the edge is one of the reasons that everybody is excited about this team coming in from the left side, working against Charles.
Jordan faced Bryant in their NBA careers. Meanwhile, under pressure, the pass is high. 2nd down, 10. Mayfield dancing, looking for some room. No, sir. Tackle to the 44-yard line. James Pearce, cover a future Hall of Famer.
Going to happen.
Yep. Meanwhile, the last thing you want to do here is take a sack, but he does. Didn't play last week against Seattle. Dorless didn't. 2nd and goal, and the pass is underthrown. Contact was made there. Got a linebacker going against Irving. Caden Ellis, 3rd down.
James Pearce may have gotten a hand on that off the edge. He's rushing around the corner, trying to get around Gedeke, the right tackle.
And they split him 2 by 2. Mayfield stepping up, and he's going to try to step away, but can't go very far, and that's going to take us to the 2-minute warning, 4th down. Jesse Bates is the first guy to get in there.
Durham, he's a tight end known as a blocker. Baker Mayfield gets pressured, but if he would have had time, look at Payne Durham, just a bust. Nobody was with him. Nobody took him, and the way Baker can locate and find receivers.
The burden on Jacoby Brissett in this pass game. Off play action here. Brissett squares his feet, and that's tipped and incomplete. 2nd down. 3rd down, Brissett. DeMercado puts it on the ground, and Arizona, they're going to say that's a backward pass. So they're going to lose a couple yards. I thought for sure that was going to be incomplete.
It should be incomplete.
It is incomplete after they talk it over. Yeah, that's clearly incomplete, but the officials let that play. So this will be a field goal. Yeah, he threw this forward by a couple yards.
You know, I would have, they've got to win that side of it, I would have thought, but here they are with a 14-0 lead.
That was a 61-yard punt. Here is a shot downfield. Flags on the play. The ball is intercepted by Xavier Watts.
So today is a 1st down, Atlanta.
You see the right hand and the right arm extended. And Watts with a brilliant interception. The rookie 3rd-round pick from Notre Dame. That's his 4th. And how about Caden Ellis?
Caden Ellis was running from the line underneath Smith. I mean, this tells you what he can do. He's not supposed to be that fast, but boy, he had a little bit of an angle, and he's just running with him. And Watts, he shows you the range that he has. That's the young rookie. When I talk about these edge rushers, boy, Jeff Ulbrich and this defense, they have answered the bell. And one of their best defensive performances against the run all year.
3rd down and 6. Stafford protection's good this time. Now out to his right. Diving try by Terrence Ferguson. Incomplete. Ferguson looking for a flag. Won't get it. It's 4th down. Play action, and now it's Smith. Got a block, and then gets rocked. Xavier Watts, come on down. Quick throw, and it's picked off. Intercepted by Watts, his 2nd of the night. And the rookie with blocking, tiptoeing into the end zone. Another pick 6.
Watch Watts on this play. He never back up. He just stays put right there, and he's reading Stafford the entire way, waiting for him to turn it loose. Anybody comes in his area, Ferguson does.
And led this team to its highest offensive yardage output in its last game. Taysom Hill in the backfield. Rolling is Shuck. And pointing is Tyler Shuck. And completing. Ball comes out, and the Falcons have it. It was a catch fumble. Xavier Watts, the rookie, does everything.
By the staff, and this is a great throw on the run. Jawan Johnson, perfect. 3 steps. No question it's a catch before it gets poked out of there, but that's Terrell that pokes it out, and Johnny on the spots. Watts, who had 2 interceptions last week, scoops up that fumble, and Atlanta, what they're trying to do to you, excellent by the defense.
On 1st down, Estime will go nowhere. Audric Estime. Fake. Shuck didn't see anything over there. He's pointing, and he's going to be brought down. James Pearce. Well, it's a sack officially for the rookie Pearce, who now has 9.5 and no foul on that.
Yeah, no, that's a good call. And his hand comes off the back, doesn't go backwards.
Tyler Shuck in some trouble here, and there's another sack for James Pearce and this Atlanta defense. Coverage was good downfield.
Oh, just edge presence. We talked about it. Let's go ahead and draft ourselves some edge players here and let.
But now 3rd and 10. And a quick toss. Taysom Hill will not get the 1st down. Stopped about 3 yards, maybe 3.5 yards short, depending on that spot.